Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching. In today's video, I'm gonna go through, so I've seen this video idea lots over the years on YouTube where people have, if they could go back, if they were just starting out in makeup and they had one makeup bag of stuff, what would be in there? So I'm sure there's lots of different premises for this video, but what I thought would be a good way for me to do it was budget friendly for one. So these products that I have in here are all from the drugstore. I might do another version of this with high-end products. So when I was starting out in makeup, and it really wasn't even that many years ago, I've worn makeup my whole life, but pretty basic makeup, I would say. I was the busy mom of two boys, and we were always on the go. And so my makeup routine for most of their lives was just basic. It was some foundation, some concealer, a bit of blush, and some mascara. Maybe a gloss. I didn't do eyeshadow, eyeliner, bronzer, highlight, setting sprays, none of that stuff. I didn't even do my eyebrows until maybe the last, less than 10 years. So I did a pretty basic routine for most of my adult life. It wasn't until the boys were grown and I had time to dedicate to these things that I actually got into makeup and started experimenting and now have this, addiction to makeup. But I started very late in life with that. So when I thought about doing this video, I thought if I was going back 20 years, and back 20 years ago, I had a makeup bag. I had one of each product that I used, and I used it up, and when it was done, I bought, that same replacement product. So in here, I've added more things than I would have used back then. So I sort of did like a full face, but there are things I left out of here. I didn't include a primer because I didn't use primer until fairly recently. And I feel like primer is an easy step to skip. So I wanted this to be budget friendly. I wanted it to be easy to use makeup and, not time consuming, because I feel like for a lot of people, their makeup routine needs to be fairly quick. Even for me now that I do lots of other steps, my basic everyday makeup routine needs to be quick. As it is, I get up at 5 to go to work. So I can't get up earlier than that. That's my limit, is 5 a.m. So my makeup every day needs to be quick and easy, even though now, of course, I have way more steps. So I'm gonna pull everything out of here and I'm just gonna go through one by one in the order that I would put these on. So all of these products I did put on my face today. And also I didn't pick, there's a few products that I have in my collection that are affordable, but that I didn't pick to put in here because I picked the products that I actually could get at the drugstore in Canada, all except for one of these products that you would have to order online. But I thought that was a good way to do it. So also I'm filming on my iPhone, so we'll see how this goes. When I'm looking at myself right now, I feel like the camera quality is better than the old camera that I normally use. So we'll see how this goes. We might have to refilm, but okay. So like I said, I didn't do a primer because, back 20 years ago, I didn't use a primer. I just would moisturize. Honestly, I didn't even use a sunscreen. So I feel like primer is an easy step to skip. Except I will say, if you have really dry skin like I do, a primer you can get a hydrating primer that adds moisture. You could also really do the same effect with a thick moisturizer. You could do a daytime moisturizer followed by your sunscreen, and that typically would be pretty hydrating. If you have oily skin, I feel like that's a better place for primers to fit in, because there are lots of primers that can control oil production. So if you have dry skin, honestly, just a day cream or any sort of a face cream is probably ideal. If you have oily skin, which I don't at all, then I would look into a oil controlling primer. Lots of options at the drugstore. So one of my favorite foundations from the drugstore is this one by CoverGirl. It's the Clean Fresh Skin Milk. I have it in 520 Fair. I love this. This is so easy to use. It gives just a little bit of correcting, but not full coverage. It's a light coverage at best, but I do feel like if you're just starting out, that's a great place to start, right? If you're just starting out in makeup, that might be a bit much if you go in with like, you know, Estee Lauder double wear, right? You know, it can be a bit intimidating. So go in with something light to start and then maybe work your way up to more coverage. I love this. It's easy to use. It's a great foundation. I have it on today. I love it. I bought this. This came out maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I've probably purchased 3 of these since then. So I love that. I also feel like if you are a beginner, or even if you're not, the easiest way to apply makeup is with a sponge. I have it upside down. This is the e.l.f. one. There is a ton of them at the drugstore. Just find one that is the squishiness you prefer, because some of them are more firm and some of them are more squishy. This one happens to be a very squishy one, but I love that. I prefer something with more give than a firmer sponge. So with a sponge, you know, it's just easier to blend. If you accidentally go in with too much product, it will take away that excess. If you find you've gone in a little heavy with, you know, your cream blush or whatever, just find a clean spot on the sponge and just blend. And honestly, it happens to me all the time. I go in too heavy and I just take a clean spot on my sponge and blend. And blend and blend, and you will be amazed at how it can fix almost any mistake you make. And also it just helps your makeup to look less thick and less cakey and more natural looking. So I love a sponge for all my cream products. That's how I go in. So that is my second recommendation. For concealer, this Maybelline Instant Rewind is a great product. Again, all these products I have on today, it gives me good coverage and it has good staying power. What shade do I have it in? 100 Ivory. And it just says multi-use corrector. The only thing I don't like about this is it has this sponge tip, which gets so gross. Like, look at that in there. But other than that, it is an amazing concealer. I like to go in with a lighter foundation and a heavier concealer. And then I just do, where I need a little bit more coverage, I will go in with my concealer on top of the lighter coverage foundation, as opposed to doing a heavy all over foundation. So yeah, this is a great product. It wears well, it's easy to use, and it's just a nice amount of coverage, I think, for everyday wear. So then for blush, now I do like to go in with a cream blush, a cream highlight, and a cream bronzer. Now I don't have a cream bronzer from the drugstore. There's probably lots of them out there. I just don't happen to have one. So the one I have is a powder one. So I'm gonna go through the cream products first, and then I'll go through the powder products. Now, if I want my makeup to really last, I go in with cream and then I set it with the powder product. So I went in with the cream blush and then I set it with a powder blush. It's an easy way to get some longevity out of your makeup. So my favorite drugstore cream blush right now is by e.l.f. and this is the Putty Blush. I think the shade I have it in is Tahiti. But you know what, it doesn't say anywhere on here. I wish they would put at least a little sticker or something, but it didn't come with that. So I'm pretty sure this is the shade Tahiti. These are so nice. If you like the Fenty cream blush, this is absolutely a dupe for it. You put that on, it feels putty, and then as it sits there for a few minutes, it feels like powder. And it just gives that beautiful flush from within look that I love. These are cheap. They're only a few dollars, very affordable, and just a great product. For me, most e.l.f. products are available in drugstore, but there are a few things that I order online that the drugstores that I go to don't carry them. So I would say go online and look and see if a local drugstore near you carries e.l.f. products, because here where I am in Canada, there's only a couple in my area that do. I don't think, do they sell it at Walmart? Actually, you know what? They might. They might sell it at Walmart. I'm not positive on that. Okay, and then for cream highlight, now this is maybe a bit of a cheat because this is a ColourPop product. I don't think you can get this anywhere in Canada. I think you have to order it from the ColourPop website. But in the US, I don't they carry ColourPop on Ulta's website? I used to be able to order from Ulta, but I haven't been able to in the last few years. I haven't checked recently actually if that's coming back. I really wish it would. I love Ulta. If you're not familiar with Ulta, it's like a Sephora, but they also carry all the drugstore products. So it's amazing. But this from ColourPop is their Super Shock highlighter. And this is the shade Lunch Money. Look at this product. I love these highlighters. And it just gives that beautiful iridescence. I just love it. Just a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a highlight there. They work so great, an amazing product, and I use this all the time. So unfortunately, you do have to go in though and probably order it off the ColourPop website. But you know what? There's tons of good products on there. You might want to check it out anyway. Now for powders, which is the next step that I would do, this Fit Me powder from Maybelline. I know this is a cult classic. I have it in 10 Fair Light. It's a massive container. It's a great setting powder. It works so well at setting down the makeup without making my makeup look heavy, which is what I want. It's very finely milled and it comes like that. It's easy to use. All of these products are so easy to use. You're not probably really going to be able to see that, but it's this very fine powder that you can just use sparingly. For all of the powder products, I go in with big fluffy brushes. This one happens to be from Shop Miss A, so it was a couple of dollars. But at the drugstore, there are tons of affordable brushes. e.l.f. makes great ones. Honestly, most of the brushes in my collection have come from subscription boxes, so I rarely buy a brush, but I did order this one. But that's a good tip and trick if you are just starting out. Go in with a big fluffy brush. You won't get as precise an application, but it will diffuse it and just make it lighter and easier for you going in. So certainly you could use something like this for a all over face powder, which is what I did today for that Fit Me powder. And then I went in with a powder blush. This one is from Milani. I love these ones right now. I mean, they're just beautiful. Look at that, you know, embossed rose in there. I have it in the shade 01 Romantic Rose. I wish I would have picked up a deeper shade. I love how this looks here in the pan, but when I go to put it on, it's very subtle. Now it was okay today because I put it over top of that e.l.f. Putty Blush. But on its own, this would be too light for my skin to really even show up. And I have very fair skin. So keep that in mind if you are picking up one of those. Where's a clean spot I can show you? So that's quite a fingerful that I grabbed there to show you. You can see how it just is very sheer and blends out. But I would sooner have a blush that was too light that I then had to build up, as opposed to having a deep blush for my super fair skin that I have to be careful with. I prefer the other way for that. Okay, and then for bronzer, like I said, I don't have a cream bronzer from the drugstore. I'm sure there are some, I don't have one. So what I do have though is of course the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I have it in the Sun-Kissed Bronzer. I think that's just what it's called. So the only downside to this is the smell. I've had this product for years and it still smells. I don't know why they add that scent to their products, but it's the bronzer I have on today. It's easy. It's easy, it's blendable. It doesn't cling and stick to things. It does come with a little brush. I probably threw it out. Oh no, I didn't. Look at that, it's still in there. I don't know how you would use this with this product. Like that seems, I don't know, maybe that would work. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know, you know what, you guys, I would go in with a fluffy brush. I mean, that's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be intense if you put it on with this thing. I would go in with a big fluffy brush. That's how I do it. It's easier. less precise for sure, but it's a softer bronze look. So that's how I go in with that product. So next for me, I would go in with my brows, and I like this micro pencil from CoverGirl. I have it in the shade 705 Rich Brown, and this is called the Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. So like I said in the intro, I didn't do my brows until fairly recently. Like honestly, less than 10 years I've been doing my brows. I always had a lot of brow hair, so I would just brush it. I would just take a spoolie and give them a brush, and that was that. But then in the last few years, I've started to get gray, and I've started to notice some sparseness show up. So I have started doing my brows. I like this one because it has the spoolie on one end, and then it has the micro fine pencil on the other. And it is a very fine pencil. And also this product is not super creamy, which I feel like if you're just starting out is nice, because do you see how light that is? Like, and I'm pressing quite firmly. You have to really build it up, which I feel like is easier than if you go in with something super creamy and deposit too much product. That's gonna be hard to brush that out. This is it's more firm, that brush, and you have to really work. You have to really go in and work it in. So for me, it does take a bit longer. So I prefer something creamier, but starting out, I feel like the easiest thing to use is one of these micro pencils, and just start at the front and just take your time and slowly follow the shape of your brow. So I like to go in with a micro pencil first, and then when I'm done that, I like to go in with a gel. Also, as I have gotten older, I'm getting sparseness and gray. It's awesome. And I'm also, those gray hairs want to just grow straight out. They don't want to conform with the rest of the brow in any way. So I do now need to go in with some sort of a brow gel. So I like this one from e.l.f. It's the Wow Brow. I think I have it in dark brown, deep brown. And I like these ones that have this little, almost like almost like a mascara brush. I feel like they're easy to use. And so yeah, it's a great product. It's a couple dollars and it's easy to use, which that's the running theme for all of this stuff for sure. Okay, so for eyes, now again, I'm not a makeup artist. But I sometimes want a little bit of an eye look, but I also don't want it to take me an hour to get ready. So I recently picked this up maybe a month ago. It's by Revlon. It's the Color Stay Cream Eyeshadows. It's an interesting container. What shade is this? This is in Praline 730. But on the lid of this container, it comes with a weird little brush. I don't even use that, but it's in there if you wanted to use it. And then when you open it up, it's a cream shadow. It's this really nice texture. It actually reminds me of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. It's not as spongy, it's just more creamy, but you can see, where can I show you here? My hand's all messy. I don't know if that will even really pick up. It has this beautiful rosy color with this metallic shift to it. And it goes on like a cream and then it sets down. So I do have it on today. I don't know if you can really see that there. And it's really nice. It's really easy. I just take my finger and I rub it on my lids. I love a one shadow cream or stick, and then you could use a little brush and just blend it out after. Easy, so easy and so pretty and so subtle and just fresh looking. I love this, but there's lots of options. I have some sticks that I like. I have some other cream potted shadows that are really nice. Just an easy one shadow look is what I'm after most days. Now for mascara, for a lot of years I didn't use primer. I do now use a primer because I feel like I get more oomph out of my lashes. So I go in with the Voluminous Lash Paradise base. You certainly don't have to. It's a white base, and you know what's weird? I've had lots of these over the years. I never noticed a scent. Does anyone know? Did they recently add scent to this product? Why? Why would you add scent to something I'm going to put on my eyes? That's so weird. It has an incredibly strong smell that I have never noticed before. It's floral. I don't even know how to, it smells like cheap perfume. Like it's very perfumed. It's so bizarre. So I don't know. I don't know why they would do that all of a sudden because I did never notice it before. So anyways, I go in with one coat of the primer and then I don't let it set. I don't let it harden. I give it about 10 seconds and then I go in with the Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara. And I have it in Blackest Black, I think is the shade I have. Let's see, does this smell? No, it just smells like mascara. I love this mascara. If you want thick, full, long lashes, this is the mascara to get. I recommend this to people all the time, and I've had lots of people tell me they don't love it as much as I do. But this is the only mascara I use. It's got that thick, dense brush that I like, and it builds. And sometimes I'll do 3 coats. Like I just keep going. Okay, that's typically my face done. Then what I do is I go in with a setting spray. Now again, this is recent, I didn't always use a setting spray, but I do feel like even if you're a beginner, even if you don't have a lot of makeup, sometimes when I do my makeup, I feel like it can look heavy and cakey and I just want it to look a little softer. And a setting spray will help with that. Now I have dry skin, so my setting sprays are always hydrating. And I'm not looking necessarily for something that's going to set my makeup and hold it all day because usually those contain alcohol and those are drying to my skin. But what I like to go in with, this one happens to be from e.l.f. It's the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. It says long lasting. I don't notice really that any of these give me longevity, but it's the softest mister. It's mist. You can't ever have too much setting spray. I love this product. It is really nice. It's a fresh scent, it's coconutty, and it just helps take down and melt that makeup into my skin. And then when I'm done with that, I let that sit for a few minutes, and then I like to go in with a pressed powder. This one I have is from e.l.f. It is the finishing powder in Fair Light. And the nice thing about this is it comes with your pressed powder and then it comes with a puff on the bottom. Now I have a puff that I use from Beauty Blender, but you certainly could use a puff like this. And all I like to do is take a little bit, like hardly any at all, and I just like to press where my pores are a little bit enlarged because I feel like it helps set the makeup down in this, this area where, although I'm certainly not oily, I do get a little, quarter size spot where I produce a bit of oil. And then across my nose, makeup will wear throughout the day, and that helps to set it down there a little bit. But also it just helps to minimize the look. When I leave this part of my face shiny, my pores look bigger. And so I don't like that. So I do every day go in with a pressed powder. This one from e.l.f. is good. It's not as good as my Charlotte Tilbury, but it's like 1/10 of the price or something ridiculous. So it's good. Like it is good. It's just not as nice as that Charlotte Tilbury one. There is one from number 7, the brand number 7 that I really want to try, but I can't find it here in Canada. I'm pretty sure they sell it on Ulta. Again, I can't get that shipped here right now. I've heard lots of people say that that's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. So if ever I'm allowed to travel to the US again without coming back to Canada and having to stay in some weird quarantine hotel, which is terrifying. Yeah, if I ever get to the US, if I ever get to an Ulta or a drugstore, that's number 1 for me to pick up. I mean, I always have a running list of things I want to grab when we go down to the US because we do quite often, historically, not in the last year and a half, but previous to all this craziness, we used to go down quite often. There's so many products down there that you just can't get in Canada, even though we're so close. But anyways, so yeah, I love this product. It's not as good as the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it's good. You know what? It's still good. And then I never wore lipsticks typically. I mean, occasionally I did, but I would go in with a tinted balm or a lip gloss. Right now from the drugstore, this lifter gloss from Maybelline, I love this product. I love the texture. I love everything about it. Let's put some more on so you can see. It's easy to wear. It wears well on its own. It wears well on top of other lipsticks. It wears well if I line my lips and I go in with this. Mostly I love it because it's easy, it's hydrating, and I think it looks pretty and it makes my lips feel nice. So that's a great one, and this comes in a whole bunch of shades. So that's my drugstore makeup bag for beginners. If I was just starting out and I needed a core group of products that weren't going to break the bank, that I could get a full face of makeup and still feel pretty, these are the products out of my collection that I would grab. Again, you certainly don't need all these steps. When I was doing makeup for the first, honestly, 20 years that I did my makeup, I used probably 5 products. I used a foundation, a concealer, a mascara, a blush, and maybe some sort of balm or gloss. That is 5 products. And I did my makeup like that for many, many years, and I always felt pretty. I always felt put together. You certainly don't need all the steps that we now show people, and by we, I just mean people, posting videos on the internet, or celebrity makeup artists, or, beauty gurus. You don't need all those steps. You just need enough steps to make you feel confident and you feel happy. Don't feel you have to do all the steps that other people do, because again, for a lot of years I didn't. I did very standard basic makeup and I always felt pretty. So anyways, like I said, I've seen these videos going around for a long time and I love them. I love to see if people could go back and just have that basic everyday makeup bag from the drugstore. What would be in there? I love to see what other people have in their makeup collections. I love even just going to my mom's and see what she's doing. What are you doing? What are you wearing? All of those things. I love to know that information. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you would give it a thumbs up, that would be amazing. If you would subscribe, I would really appreciate that. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, everyone.